martial law, which effectively means the military takes over for the police. Free speech becomes illegal. Protests become illegal. You have to have the permission of the military to do anything. And worse than that, the commander-in-chief, Trump, can do basically anything he wants. Literally. Okay? We may be looking at the end of American democracy, and we have 13 days left. Okay? Here's my point. Please prepare your family for the worst. The other rumor is that they're going to seize all the guns. So if you have a gun, you want to keep it, you might want to bury it in your backyard. Stock up on food. Please stop spending money you don't have to spend. You may need it. Okay? If he shuts everything down, you're going to need some cash. You're going to need something. Okay? Please prepare your family for the worst and hope for the best. If this is just a rumor and it doesn't happen, then that's great. We're all fine. But if it does, you have 13 days to prepare. Please be ready.
Greetings, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastic, and it's always a pleasure having you here. So today I'm reacting to Donald Trump signing in martial law and how our people in the USA are reacting to it. So for those who don't know what is martial law is a temporary replacement of military authority for civilian government in case of an emergency. It can be invoked during times of war, labor disputes, natural disasters, or civil unrest in the United States. And by the way this is turning out, it seems like he's just provoking the black community and trying to silence our black history. Let's listen to some clips over here, and then we come back with some commentary.
President Trump has just officially declared martial law as of today, April 29th, 2025. Yesterday, he signed the executive order called Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and to Protect Innocent Civilians. This is terrifying, and nobody is talking about it except Rolling Stone magazine for some reason. Please go to whitehouse.gov, read the full text yourself, and spread this word. In summary, he declares that the military, the police, and ICE shall be unleashed into the streets of America to root out anything they declare as crime. They will be shielded from any prosecution for wrongdoing of any kind. If a civil official stands in their way, they will be prosecuted as a criminal. What this means is that no warrants will be needed by anyone. If you get murdered by ICE, that's legal. If a judge or an attorney tries to prosecute them, they will be arrested themselves. This is a state called martial law. It means that the military, the police, and ICE decide the law now. We no longer have rights. As Trump and Pam Bondi have both said, speaking out is a crime. Disagreeing with the president is a crime.
All of these executive orders that he's been doing, all of these policies that he's undoing, like DEI, or putting back into place, like segregation in the federal workplace, it's rage bait. It's rage bait. And while there are other groups that have been affected by what he's doing, the main group that he's trying to enrage is the group that looks like us. Okay? It is historically known that if you upset the African American community enough, the black community enough, you will hear their voice. You will hear their voices. Why? Because they will rally, they will protest, they will do whatever they can to fight for their rights, to fight for what they believe in. And that right there is what they want you to do. Why? Because that will then fall into civil unrest.
It's very simple why they want to provoke the black community. You know, it's no surprise they would do it after that debacle of a speech from last night. Look at the economy, okay? Look at the stock market. It's going down, okay? We are probably heading towards a recession, and that is all due to his decisions in the White House. All the rollbacks, the DEI rollbacks, all that stuff, that affected his voters, all right? It affected people that supported him more than it affected us. The spending resolution, all right? Getting rid of Medicaid. Everybody knows that's happening, okay? His voters, not happy about that. Social Security being disrupted, his voting base. He just laid off 80,000 veterans from the VA, 80,000 people working for the VA, his voting base. You guys are right. The plan was always to dismantle everything, make everything complicated, disrupt the system, destroy all these services, build frustration, get people mad. Okay? That was always the plan. But what they needed to cover up the fact that this is their fault, what they needed to cover up the fact that these are their decisions and nobody is to blame but them and the Republican Party, what they needed was for there to be anger in the streets, specifically from our community. The fact that they're not getting it is absolutely throwing off their plans, all right? And as things continue to get worse, they cannot continue pointing the finger. They just can't.
So what will be happening in the next 90 days? Federal agencies are going to increase the flow of this won't matter. And that means that anybody that goes against it can be subject to legal actions. So, stopping and frisking, that'll be a thing. Aggressive tactics during protests, that definitely can be a thing. Escalated violence in police-civilian interactions will definitely be a thing, whether it's non-emergency or emergency situations. And this is all happening within 90 days. It doesn't clarify the types of equipment, but in the past it has been armored vehicles, tactical equipment, and surveillance technology. So it's just going to be situations that can eventually harm us. And warrants, don't worry about it. They can just come into your house. So our civil rights is subjectively being taken away.
Well, I guess this is where we are at in America. I've heard a lot of people talk about martial law. And so the question has to be asked. If Trump declares martial law, if freedoms are stripped away, and people are arrested without cause, the press is silenced, and protests are crushed, will you finally speak up? Or will you stay silent? Because you voted for him. Will you say, it doesn't affect me? Or I still trust him, while others lose their rights, their voices, and safety? Just because it doesn't touch you now doesn't mean it won't later. Human rights are for everyone, and ignoring abuse just because it's not aimed at you helps normalize it. Silence isn't neutrality, it's approval. History proves it. Authoritarians, even their most loyal supporters, always come for more. So when the day comes, will you finally say, this is too far, or will you keep defending him no matter the cost? You must start asking yourself, is your loyalty to Trump or freedom itself? And when the line is finally crossed, will it be enough for you to stop being silent?
Everybody's kind of throwing out that martial law executive order that the military would take over. Let me just say this. I needed to know what percentage of the American people are serving in our military currently, and ChatGPT came back with the answer. Now, it could be miscalculation, but I think it's actually pretty close, and it's 0.6% of the American people are serving. 0.6%. We outnumber them. So even if he pulled that card out of his deck, we still outnumber them as citizens. This is nuts. Who would think that 6% could overtake, 0.6%, not even 6%, that 0.6% could overtake a whole country? I don't know. He just doesn't get it. The math is not mathing. It makes zero sense. Yes, it's scary times right now, but you got to think logically.
And defend our communities for law-abiding American citizens. Look, the crime is most rampant right here and in African American communities, and more people see me and they say, sir, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. They want it so badly. The fake news doesn't talk about it. But the black population wants law enforcement more than any other population. So
I think all these laws being enacted by Trump, it's just a discrimination to the black community. And I think what Trump is trying to do is trying to take us back to early 20s, late 1950s, where there was a very huge discrimination against black community. There was places like restaurants for black people, some restaurants for white people. And if you know our history well, people like Martin Luther King, this is what they were fighting for: discrimination against black community. So that is where we are headed, and Trump is taking us back, and he's destroying America, and it's gonna take generations to pull this back together. We need to understand that this is not just an American issue. What happens to black people anywhere in the world affects us all. This is why Pan-African unity is very important. If one of us is not free, none of us are, okay? Let me know what you think in the comments, and what can we as global black community do in moments like these. Stay woke, stay aware, and stay united. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do have a lovely time. See you in the next video.